Mike's Daily Podcast.
Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast. This would be episode 2493, 2493. I'm Mike.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's been quite a week. What a week. And the stock market didn't end so good. And that's pretty much it. But I'm that kind of dude that likes to sing a song at the beginning of every podcast. If you don't like that, well, I guess that's not gonna last for you. And you've just now gone over and listened to
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Marketplace with Kai Rizdal. Hey guys, Kai Rizdal.
Mike's
The show called
Daily
Mike's Daily Podcast with Mike.
Yeah!
And apparently it's all about FedEx. This is what I heard all day. FedEx! And the fact that they did not do well and it caused the stock market to do things. Stock markets are strange, aren't they? They're just sort of a amazing amount of research and theories and intrigue. It's all there in the world of the stock market. And also in our world in general, it's been kind of crazy lately. For example, this line that people are in, they call it a queue in England. That's been there heading over to Westminster Hall. King Charles led a vigil around the Queen's coffin as she continues to lie in state at Westminster Hall. All the late monarch's grandchildren, the King, the Princess Royal, the Duke of York, and the Earl of Wessex are in attendance. They attended a 15-minute event earlier today, and some members of the public also got to witness the vigil.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It is not a picture of that. It is a picture of, let's go back in time. I think we'll go back in time to a time that was more simpler, more simple, something to that effect. We might do something like that. Go back. Yeah, something by the ocean, maybe, from 2 years ago, or 20. I don't know. We'll figure it out. See it at mikesdailypodcast.com. Oh, the late great Basil the Boxer. He and I went to the beach many times. Oh, as I did it was a week ago Monday. The late great Basil the Boxer and I would go to the beach all the time, and the particular area that we would go to is Poplar Beach in Half Moon Bay. I will post a picture from that wonderful visit that my lovely lady friend and I took in remembrance of the late great Basil the Boxer. That was almost 2 weeks ago. See it at mikesdailypodcast.com. Ron DeSantis, I guess he wants to be president, so he's trying to do big things, big crazy things. Sent a bunch of migrants to, was it the place over by the where they vacation, the Kennedy, where the Kennedys vacation, something like that. Anyway, he sent them out of Florida over to somewhere pertaining to the politicians, the Democrats, and basically said, hey, you take care of them. And an interesting theory that our governor here in California, Governor Gavin Newsom, said, I guess it's Gavin de Rossdale, DeGraw, Tyson, Newsom. No, just Gavin Newsom. And he said, maybe these governors, the Greg Abbott of the Texas also sent Texas's governor, Florida's governor. They sent a bunch of people, migrants just coming into the U.S., not citizens yet, to different places, to friendlier, to blue states, etc., blue cities, And Gavin Newsom said that, well, if you sent them there, what did you tell them when you sent them? I mean, the fraud could be involved. You might have told them, hey, we're going to send you this place because they're going to make you a citizen over there. Which it in some ways is true. I mean, they did get some help. Volunteers helped. But none of that was planned out. It was just like, we're going to send you, and they didn't tell them, we're just sending you wherever to make a point. We're using you to make a point. The last podcast called Uses. And yes, we get used by politicians. We use the politicians to get what we want done. In Hollywood, Washington, D.C. is a form of Hollywood. There's a lot of manipulation going on. And people manipulating each other. And lots of money involved. You know how the country works. But yes, is fraud involved? I think that's a very good question. People were led astray. Now they're happy to be. I heard one interview with one of the passengers on the plane or the bus, whatever it was, saying, hey, at least I'm in the U.S. You don't know what it took to get here. And now I'm here. Wow. I'm just happy for anything. But it's very fascinating. Meanwhile, over in England, there was King Charles led the vigil. There was 4 officers of the Welsh Guard making the corners of the catafalque. Oh, that's according to the Telegraph. It's called a catafalque, where the coffin sits on like the pedestal. Interesting. All right. Also, what else in this great world, this great strange world? As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
Anyway,
the last place on earth. There was some speculation as to what comes next and what's going to happen. It's called Operation London Bridge. That is what it was called. It's been prepared for with what happened with Queen Elizabeth, how she has been celebrated and the tradition that goes into it. It has been prepared for since the 1960s. This according to Fortune.com. And apparently it all started with a phone call. The Queen's private secretary, Sir Edward Young, called the Prime Minister, the newly appointed Liz Truss, and said, London Bridge is down. That was the code phrase. Speaking of phrases and expressions, have I ever told you my favorite expression of all time is, I got to see a man about a horse? I love it because it must date back to I don't know when. How long have we been using horses? If you didn't have a horse, you didn't have means to eat, to travel, to get a lot of stuff done. You needed a horse. So that expression, I need to see a man about a horse, or I'm going to go see a man about a horse, or however it's said. Love it. And it comes in so handy so many times. If there's someone talking your ear off, hey, that's great. I got to go see a man about a horse. It generally means you got to use the restroom, but it could mean a lot of things. It could mean you just got to go. And I can't be bothered with this right now. Once the Prime Minister had been alerted, the news went out to the 15 governments where the Queen is still head of state. Yes, there's 15 governments. That includes Canada. And to the officials in the 38 other Commonwealth nations that belong to England. Now, a lot of people despise the Queen because of what she represents. The colonialism that England is known for throughout history. That kind of irks me, even though I understand that perspective, but mean, I didn't know her personally, but the fact that she was larger than life, larger than human. A lot of people, even if she was just a human, obviously, but still, the mystique around her, for history's sake, anyway. And when you're that high up on the pedestal, as it were, it will be people there that will want to knock you down, or that's fine. I guess that's part of being humans. We all have different opinions on that. I'm not going crazy over her. I'm not like flying to England to wait in that incredibly long line. People waiting over 24 hours, including Beckham, the soccer player, which my ex-wife once saw him waiting to get on a plane at LAX. Noah Wiley was on the same plane, interestingly enough. This is back when Beckham was part of the soccer team that Los Angeles had. After all the notifications, a footman dressed in black penned an official notice to the gates of Buckingham Palace, and thus it began. When the Queen died. Then there's the transition of power, flags lowered to half-mast. Prince Charles became, and that's all we've known him his whole life. He's older than me, so my whole life I've known him as Prince Charles. Now becomes King Charles. He's the unofficial king, but he's expected to make the first... he then made the first speech as the official king. I think there's some kind of ceremony involved with that, though. Oh, okay. Flags then were raised again, and then Prince Charles officially... That's when he officially became king. And Camilla becomes the UK's queen consort. Which is interesting because the Queen's husband, Queen Elizabeth's husband, was known as Prince Philip his whole life. He was never King Philip. So, enough of that. Enough of the whole British thing. I know you don't care. Or maybe you do. Maybe you live in England. If you do, it'd sure be nice to hear from you. Give you a call, why don't you? At 336MM Daily, 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews, Daily as in what this podcast has been for a couple days. Look who's here. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
At the Disgruntled Fiddle Player tell you what.
What?
I don't care nothing about no Queen. You all just play a song by Queen and I'll be happy.
Which song?
Bicycle Race. That one.
Okay. Bicycle. Okay, look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer hamster right now.
Thank you. Oh. That's really good.
Drink it right now. I'll cut you.
That's what I just did. Some people, they don't pay attention when you do things. And they don't care if you don't answer the phone when they call. They just keep calling you. But I don't want to talk to you. But they just keep calling you because they think you're going to break eventually. But then there's this little thing where you can turn the whole phone off. And they're just going to keep calling you because I guess they have nothing better to do. Oh, but it's an important call. You need to pick it up. Well, there's that conundrum. Hey, yesterday we did that little segment called Let's Go Back with Matthews. And I would like to do that yet again. We went a little country last time, right? I think we should go to 1989. What do you think? Let's go to 1989. Back a bit. And we'll do, wow. How long is that? 35 years or so? I was a youngster. My voice didn't sound all that much different. But I was you know what, though? Actually, wait. Let's go to 1991. So, yes, let's go almost 30 years exactly. And the Emmys were happening. And the Emmys just happened, didn't they? I don't know who won. I don't care. But yeah, the Emmys just happened. So let's listen back to 1991, what was going on with the Emmys and me on the radio and all that stuff. Here we go.
It's 7 p.m. The sun is setting. You're listening to Comedy Radio AM 850 and the All Request Hour.
Oh, wait, no, that was Comedy Radio. How did that get in there? Interesting.
Once upon a time, there was a guy named Jack Benny.
I'll give you the money you want, but for that, you'll also have to appear on my Lucky Strike television show.
Wow. Oh, that was an early commercial I did because we used to run the Jack Benny show. And that goes way back. Yours truly was not alive when the Jack Benny show. Jack Benny was alive when I was born. He died not too long after. Then the Jack Benny show, however, was eons and eons ago. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. But at this radio station I worked at, Comedy Radio, I used to play the Jack Benny show. And actually, we still play the Jack Benny show on the two of the AM stations that I work for. And I think there's a siren. Yes, I don't know if you can hear that. A siren just went by. A vehicle with a siren noise just went by. It's been busy in the Bay Area. Lots of sirens, as I was doing the podcast, I got a text. I should have read it live on the air. My ex-wife sent me because I moved to Podcastro Valley because of my ex-wife. And she now lives in Louisiana. She remarried. But she sent me this, hey, did you hear what happened to the Trader Joe's in Podcastro Valley? And I looked and she sent me a picture. Somebody, a senior citizen, had driven into Trader Joe's yesterday, and I was going to stop by Trader Joe's, pick up some things, some healthy things, but I drove. As I got to the Trader Joe's, because it's on my way home from work, I see the parking lot is practically empty, and there is a television news van sitting there and a bunch of police, and I know, something bad happened. So I knew something was afoot, but she told me, yes, somebody, a senior citizen, drove into the Trader Joe's and 4 people were injured. Nobody died, thankfully, but still, I mean, that's very yikes. I remember something like that happened with a senior citizen in Ventura when I lived there. There was this neat area near the Ventura Pier that was off limits to cars, and somehow an old guy in his car had driven through these barricades and down these concrete steps, actually chipping them, and had stopped, and a police thankfully had stopped, and a policeman was there with his, I think he got there on his motorcycle, the lights are on, and I overhear the old man say, well, it was an honest mistake. But yes, let's see what this says.
Flower on Most Music 187.
In a time when the sun...
Oh, Roxette in 1991. I loved early 90s Roxette. Yes, there was the late 80s Roxette, The Look and Listen to Your Heart. But technically, that hit was in 1990. And then came It Must Have Been Love and the second album. But here...
Yes, Rhythm is going to get you, and Most Music 197 is going to get you to the Magic Kingdom. Yes, Disneyland. All I have to do is give Rusty's Pizza a call, and you can register while you're ordering a pizza. If we pick you as one of the winners, you and 3 of your friends are going to Disneyland free of charge. Rusty's has 6 locations from Goleta to Carpinteria. Stop by your local Rusty's today and start winning with 197. Here's Cher.
Oh, that was a Cher song. I don't remember that one. Interestingly enough, years later, I'd be working at a country station called K-Hay. I was on the air there for 11 years. And one of the sales ladies there, Sabrina, she set up a special sponsorship. So Rusty's Pizza sponsored my show on K-Hay. And with that, they said, whatever Mike wants, he can have it. We'll deliver pizza to him. So I took advantage of it one evening. I go, I would like this. I ordered something. Oh, it was like something like a chorizo pizza with pineapple on it. Some crazy thing. We had another radio station in the same building, B95.1, which I later ended up being the program director for. And I was on in the afternoons over there. This was years after that. But the guy that was working at B95.1 said, hey, every night, Mike, let's get another pizza. Mike, get another pizza. Mike, are you going to get another pizza? I think his name was Mike too. So every night I really overused that, the whole pizza thing. I think I took a little advantage of that. And you cannot exist on pizza. If that can't be the only thing you eat. I gained a lot of weight back then. But there was some good pizza. Oh, at any rate, that was my...
Yeah, he just gave a big nod. Yes. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Good night. Goodbye. Sayonara. Right in front of T.O. Meat Locker, I ran inside and got a bite to eat. You never need an excuse to have a...
Wow. I'm realizing that was from Comedy Radio. That was the radio station in Thousand Oaks where we played like the old Jack Benny, and we were playing early Jerry Seinfeld and Monty Python.
Y97.
Cheers, no question.
You like Cheers, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And what's your name?
Brian, I'm working at Nautilus.
Oh, yeah, that was the question. Who do you think should win the Emmys? Best television show, best comedy. Who do you think should win? And he said Cheers.
Oh, down there, you're pumping weights and everything?
Yeah, just working. Actually, I worked out too while I was working, but yeah.
So this guy was listening at a gym. Gold's Gym, I think he said.
I'm just relaxing now. It's pretty boring, so.
Okay, so you thought you'd give us a call. And, there's always a place where everybody knows your name, Brian.
Yeah?
And that's Cheers.
No, that's for sure.
What's your favorite radio station?
You guys, Y97.
Oh! And that was a new Huey Lewis song that came out at that time called A Couple Days Off. No one remembers that Huey Lewis song. Huey Lewis and the News. That was a good album. I like that album. I forget now.
Comedy Radio AM 850 and Stephen Wright there from the album I Have a Pony. And Mike Matthews here. How you doing? How you doing? That's good. We got more guffaws and chortles of laughter on the way. But don't forget, we have something called Comedy on the Town with Duke Ford and Jimmy, letting you know what's going on, where, and how you can get the most out of your evening as far as laughter goes. They're going to be coming up, I'd say really soon.
What? What? Comedy Radio and Duke Ford and Jimmy. I think these were characters I did back then. Wow, I have not thought about this in 30 years. Oh boy. I don't know how... Oh, I don't think...
Some people call him precocious.
Well, I don't think I got to record that. The Duke Ford and Jimmy vignette. Well, I'm going to keep plowing through my cassettes. At some point, I might find Duke Ford and Jimmy. But I have found the last segment of our show today is called Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. And I play two songs from a band, from different bands, from different people. I play two songs from, you get the idea. And you tell me which one you like better. I think I explained that perfectly. Hey, this band has been on the segment called Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. They are known as Mono Whales. What a wondrous name that is. This song is called Change. Hashtag. Or, if you will, pound sign. Mono Whales.
Under the weight of all this change, nothing ever stays the same. Change. I need to get closer.
Okay, there you go. That's Mono Whales. And they are up against this Montreal lo-fi dream pop trio Afternoon Bike Ride. Oh, we heard something from them recently as well. So let us hear their song. It is called For the Breakdowns.
In non understanding why my spine so it's held my heavy heart up through the cold of feeling fraught with finding who to breathe within divine and divinity.
Afternoon Bike Ride. So which one do you like better, Mono Whales or Afternoon Bike Ride? Call me at 336MM Daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews, Daily as in what this podcast has been for a couple of days. Sorry, I got a little bit lost there, getting struck in the face by a character, a thought, a memory from way back. Doesn't that happen sometimes where you're like, wait, whoa, I totally forgot that, but now I got to do some research and dig into that. That's an interesting little tidbit, a little clue, a little tease to entice me to look into it more. And for your way to tell me which one that you like better on the Mike Matthews New Tunes feud, you can call me 336MM Daily.
Call now. 336MM Daily.
Or you can email me, and with more information on that, it's a frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!